Look how tall I am. Okay. I'll sit there.
What am I in this? I guess, am I still Guano?
I have been calling you Ryan.
Okay, I'm Ryan. Then.
Yeah. Okay. What's up? I'm Tyler.
I'm Ryan. Still.
We're the guys behind GCA Films.
GCA Films.
We make cool stuff for this YouTube page as well as our Twitch stream at Guano Loco Lobo. We gotta put a link. Check the description. Follow that Mama Jamma. See these things live. So we're gonna figure out what we're gonna do this week. We're gonna try to make neat stuff and like learn together.
Hell yeah.
Right? That's what this is.
Yeah, I'm taking tomorrow off.
Yeah. So I'll be teaching us tomorrow. And then we'll be back to normal.
Scheduled programming on Wednesday until we have to go to a wedding on Friday.
Yeah.
And a wedding rehearsal on Thursday.
Yeah, okay, so this is week 2. We really picked a winning time to start doing this. Because last week was really relaxed after the week before. And this week we have like real world stuff happening. But we're gonna still make stuff.
Yeah.
So this is gonna slow us down.
Stream those days.
That being said, it's not the morning, by the way. I wanna make that clear. That's not even coffee. I'm not some kind of drunk. So yeah, I guess the easiest stuff we're gonna do this week, I guess starting with editing, right? Because we've got plenty of stuff we can edit. First things first, we get to edit the first one of these, which is kind of unfortunate. I haven't even, like, I've like organized that footage, but I haven't even really looked at it. It's like, I don't even know if this is a good format yet. Well, we're gonna have 2 of these in the bag before we figure out whether or not it works.
We're just, what do you call it? Prolific.
Prolific,
It can't be stopped.
No. We're gonna make it anyway.
Our ball is rolling.
Because that's the point. We're growing. We're learning together. We're figuring it out. So yeah, I'm gonna try to edit this last one. Hopefully it works. All right, so God, I'm tired. Just can't wake up. So I'm gonna start doing the board meeting edit. I'm gonna edit all the Osmo clips first, cut those down nice and little, and then having done that, then I'll go back and cut up the meeting. That way anything that we don't have clips for, I can just ignore. So yeah, that's what I'm about to do. Should I set up a time lapse for this? Might as well, right? Okay, so yeah, I'll do that first. So I finished 2 of the timelines of the bits, but I did learn something that when filming stuff with here, if I'm starting to talk about things that I've done to it, I need to like do a screen share thing, like pull up OBS and capture the screen and then somehow find an easy way to sync them. Maybe I could just use the mic on webcam. I mean, I don't have to use the audio, so like that could probably work. Anyway, this business of being like, ooh, look at the timeline and look at those numbers and what does that say? It's clearly not cutting it. That was a dumb thing to do. All right, so I took a lengthy break because honestly I'm kind of stalling before this next part, because here's where I figure out whether or not the idea is even going to work the way I thought it would. Got the meeting cut up. Now I'm going to just start throwing bits into it. But yeah, hopefully this goes smooth. Okay, so got an edit, but it's 17 minutes and 38 seconds long. It feels long, right? I'm gonna guess these things can be long, but not just for the sake of being long, right? I don't know. I'm gonna set it aside for a second. Come back to it, because that's helpful sometimes. Alright, so this isn't working, but before I got too far, I wanted to go ahead and look at it a little bit. So I've got a screen capture going. Unfortunately, I've got 2 monitors here, and I didn't really plan well on using both of them. So the little box where you can see my program monitor is actually on another monitor. I'm just covering up the bins and stuff because I figure I'm not going to use those for this. So I've got this title, but I want it to be, all of this to be black and this just be like a cutout, you know? So my original idea was to make that all big, and then I was going to put a background on it. I've got this set to 500, which I think if you use the bar, it only goes to 100. So I started typing stuff in. 500, not big enough. 700, okay, it only lets me go to 500, but no problem, because I figured I'd make these two boxes. And so those basically just like cover what the background won't, right? So that way we got a full black screen, and then instead of just in my effect controls, instead of moving the shapes themselves, I would just move the whole thing up and like zoom into, you know, this little empty space here, use that as my transition. Well, I did that, and then I figure all I gotta do is remove the fill, and okay, by background they mean actual background. So now I've removed the fill and you just get the black behind it. So okay, so that's not gonna work. So I take that away. Here's what I'm working with. And I figure, okay, I'll make the stroke really big, and then maybe if the stroke's big enough, then I can still be able to see through it, right? But that leaves all these stupid little gaps here. So I start making these tiny little shapes. Now I've filled in all the gaps. So hypothetically, this will work now. So go back up to my text and let's remove the fill. Nope. And I'm pretty sure that's because the stroke is too big. So I think I have to reduce the stroke and then make even more tiny little shapes to fill in all these gaps. And then I'm gonna do that for every single one. There's gotta be a smarter way to do this, right? I think I might go the long way here, see if I even like the idea for the transition. And then if I do, I'll do some Googling, try to see if I can figure out a smarter way to do this. We'll see. Alright, so yeah, my hunch is correct that there's no way that's worth it to do every time. But now we got this guy. I am recording, yeah. Got this guy, more or less perfect. Took 51 shapes to do it. So let's see. Boom. It's still fucking messy. Look at these bits. It's not clean enough. It's worth doing this. We're doing right. I guess time to Google. I've once again proven to myself that I should Google stuff before I just start taking a stab at things pretty quickly. Thanks to the movie Dunkirk, I found a bunch of videos on how to do exactly what I'm going to do, the most helpful of which I'm going to link in the description by this Jermaine Grant fella who pretty much walked me through. Essentially it involves track matting. The only difference between this and the clip that he messes with in the video is it covers 3 different clips, so I kept the audio as it is. Where's my little mouse? Can you see my mouse? Anyway, these guys made a copy of the video layer so I could keep the audio separate because I gotta clean up the audio a little bit. But then I nested those so that I could apply the thing to all 3, and it seems to work pretty well. So now I'm not going to explain how I did it because you can just check the video, but it now looks like that, which might work. And it took me, I don't know, 30 minutes, and that included watching the video, so not bad. Just want to say it's rendering now, so I don't even really know if it works, but I went through and added the rest of the titles, just kind of copy and paste and changing it up with the set, all that kind of stuff. But this track mat thing could be super neat. I'm excited I found this. That's kind of one of the cool things about slowly learning Premiere is like if this works, I can do a lot with that probably. And now it's just like another thing I know how it works. So if something else comes up in the future, I can play with that, you know? And like the 3D, basic 3D thing, never done that before. I've always just like scaled up, which again, the guy in the video was right. It tends to lose, you know, resolution and stuff when you do that, and I'm not trying to do that. So all in all, it's very exciting. Things are looking up. Right, so I set up all those titles, and then I realized I got lucky with the first one, because the first one, the M is perfectly set up in the middle, so when it zooms in and takes over the screen, it works as kind of like a transition into the actual footage underneath. But the rest of them, because I had to, make it multiple lines, and frankly just didn't luck out, they tended to zoom in to the black space in between, which doesn't quite work as a transition. So I've been going through and fixing them. This one I'm going to try to fix live. My computer's forcing me to do some dumb stuff because it doesn't quite like this track backing. So first things first, I'm going to kill the track mat, and then I'm going to adjust the title. So we've got the basic 3D as explained in that video that I've got linked that zooms it in, right? So at the first point where I start the zoom, I'm going to go ahead and set up a key point for the position, and then I'm going to finish the zoom down here. Let's see. Okay, so I'm going to move the x-axis over just a little bit. Okay, too much. Okay, so now it's all covered in white, which is comfortable because without the track mat, the text is white. So now if I re-enable the track mat, that white text should go back to being invisible. So to test it, I'm gonna render, which shouldn't take long because at least it's cool about that, and boom. Okay, to be honest with you, it looked a little funky there at the end, so I'm at 1379. I'm gonna take it to 1390. That'll probably be far enough over. I don't think it went far enough over, so it kind of clips a little bit. I don't know, you saw it, right? Okay, I've already made the change, so I'm just gonna replay the bit I just did. Maybe I'll zoom in. It might be less than stellar quality, but it's just, there's something not right about it, so I wanna push it even farther, and look at that, right? And that's gorgeous. And I've done that for the rest of my bits. So I had to move this one right into the letters. So anyway, that's a problem that my man in the video didn't seem to have, or maybe he did and I just didn't watch it far enough, but I had it and now I don't anymore because I fixed it. So sometimes you gotta do that.
I spent a lot of today trying to figure out how to stream Squadrons in VR, but then when I tested playing it for a while, I got kind of ill. I think that's just because I hadn't eaten, so I'd have to eat on a regular basis during those streams or I'd get ill, bro. Also, that shit hurts.
I can imagine eventually it gets tiring. Should we test that?
The stream deck won't be hooked up.
Oh yeah.
I figured out the plug situation, so everything's done with that. Oh fucking K. So now I'm gonna show you again, because I've already showed you once, you just don't know how to do Squadrons VR on stream. First off, you're gonna need one of these headsets and a sound headset. Got a VR. And I use a PlayStation controller, which I would use an Xbox controller if I have one, but don't. First things first, boot up your Streamlabs, which is what I use. Okay, wait, actually let me show you my setup again. So you got your main gaming display, and keyboard, and the mouse area. There's one of the lighthouses. And then back there in the corner, a monitoring monitor, which can be switched to the program feed, so I see exactly what's coming out. Or I can switch to feed 1, which is what's coming out of Streamlabs. Sometimes feed 2 is Detective in his other room. You can also see the audio and all that sort of shit over there. And then the Streamlabs itself, which is where I monitor chat, unless I'm in VR, which is, then it's in VR, with the OVR toolkit, which I'll show you. So you make a source, just a regular old source like you normally would. And it's got Open VR Capture. Open VR Capture. Automatically ready to go. It's easy. Just put that in there at the bottom of all your normal stuff. Your overlays and your camera, etc, etc. Just put it at the bottom. And for me, it was easy. You have to do properties for its dimensions. It's got crop presets in the properties window, which is easy for me because I have an HTC Vive. Other full 16:9, Valve 16:9, no cropping, or the HTC Vive, which automatically sets all the crop options. So I know that's gonna be a perfect window. But when you're done, you'll notice it's highlighted. It looks like a little tiny square. When you open the game, it is going to still be a tiny little square in the top corner. Don't transform it to fit the window, because when you open the game or maximize it, it will grow to fit the window, unless you've already fit it to the window, in which case it will then become just a really big picture of the top left corner of the game, at least in my experience. So if you're having that problem, try that. All of that runs into this box here, the ATEM Mini Pro, which then outputs the stream. So you got your power and Ethernet. With Ethernet connects to the system once you've configured the ATEM. One of the things I ran into with this project was the ATEM has to be connected to the computer with an HDMI, as well as the Vive does too with this little box. I only had, what do I have, one HDMI port? Two. I have two. No, I have one, I'm pretty sure. One HDMI port, which is a bummer. And because of that, I couldn't hook in this box and this headset at the same time. So I got a converter to change the box's speed from HDMI to DisplayPort, of which I had 3. So now my graphics card's full up, but it will stream this, so that's nice. With this setup, I lose usage of my Stream Deck, so I can't really change anything on the fly. It's just like a VR stream until it's over, pretty much, because it's hard to get in and out of everything. I need to get some sort of desktop interaction software, which I'll probably figure out next time. That's basically how you set it up. Everything else is intuitive, kind of just does it on its own. As far as the game's preparations and working in VR, it's got an option to work in VR. And then the OpenVR source on Streamlabs just does everything else for you for the most part. And you don't have to do it in big picture mode when you're using a controller with VR, I've found. I guess it just counts as big picture mode because it's a really big picture. What else? That's pretty much it. I got a lot of cables running everywhere. Only sitting for now. The only big bummer about this is my darkened Stream Deck. Poor guy. And keeping up with where the microphone is too. While in VR is hard. Can't see anything. Oh yeah, OVR Toolkit. OVR Toolkit is finicky. It doesn't like to work, but it does work. You just have to make it. And I can't really show you from here, but you basically, if you want your chat to show up in your stream, you just go to the, what I do, internet, go to Twitch, go to your chat, switch to your non-mod settings, of course, and pop out your chat. Close this. Leave this window just like this, unless you want it in night mode. I prefer night mode. When in space, so you just leave it like this. Don't minimize or anything, just leave it up. And the way OVR Toolkit works is it just grabs windows from your desktop. So this Twitch window will be one of them, and it'll just be your chat and it'll be about that size. You can adjust the dimensions and curve and all that sort of stuff inside the UI as much as you want. You can also set it to disappear when you're not looking at it. But there's an option that says always appear that you have to check so that it will appear. And then you can go and check the thing that makes it disappear. If it doesn't always appear, it will not appear at all. And you'll be really confused. And you'll open it 1,000 times, and everybody else have something to say about it. I saw you open an OVR Toolkit 1,000 times. It's like, yeah, it didn't work. That's that for now, pretty sure. I'll be back with more workarounds as I figure out how to do more with it. But that's it for now, goodbye.
That seems like a week, right?
Sounds like one to me.
Wow, I'm just like drifting out of frame. It sounds like a week. So we're gonna do that stuff. And it's gonna be great. And I'm sure you've already seen how it went. I'm sure it all went swimmingly. And that's why you're gonna like the video, which is good. We're supposed to remind you of that because that's important.
To like and subscribe.
Like, subscribe, especially like comment it. Like if you comment on it, we'll comment.
Ring a bell.
Back. Ring the bell. Get a notification. We got dope stuff coming. So like and subscribe and stuff. And tell your friends and like tune in to that stream also. If you have any ideas of stuff we can do, we like those also. So you can do that. Am I forgetting anything? If I forgot anything, let me know. Thank you.
Nice.
That's good. There's something out of that.